All right, I will be keeping track of the score best I can down here, guys, as it's a best of 7 between the two teams. But welcome back to, well, it's not really any event in particular, I guess. It's just this really awesome show match that got thrown together by Penguin and Choya. I thank them again for inviting us to come cast it. And of course, Feder, big thank you to you for casting with me this morning, man. But we are going into map number 3. Spawning here in the top left corner of the map, it's going to be the Terran powerhouse from my insanity, the blue Terran Jjakji.
And in the bottom of the map, it is Salvation from Team MVP. I was looking at his tournament wins, and like you said, he's been in Alima League. He actually won one as well.
Yeah.
I assume you know that. Which is pretty damn good against Gumiho as well. Gumiho. TVT. That's pretty damn good.
Actually... Salvation, it kind of shocked me. A lot of the MVP guys actually do, for those who don't participate in the Alima League, and maybe you haven't heard of the Alima League, it's this weekly Korean event that we cast every Saturday, but Salvation really kind of surprised me when he showed up, because there are some players who are just kind of on the team that, you know, they aren't really the focus of Pro League, they're not exactly the heavy hitters on the team. Salvation kind of has been that heavy hitter. It's really cool to see him come out and play, but the nice thing we've also learned about him is he's not exactly untouchable. He's lost some matches too, but also won a ton, and as you mentioned versus Gumiho, played a fantastic TVT. So Jjakji, as weird as it is, I don't often put Jjakji as the underdog in my books, but I think he is coming into this best of 1.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, one of the really nasty things too about TVT lately, a lot of these matches that we cast, they're under 10 minutes. And that's not because players are bad or there's counter builds, it's just the volatility of some openings can just be ridiculous. A Banshee versus someone who goes for a drop that moves out well before the Banshee comes in. Widow Mines unexpectedly with a Raven, or this, that, the other. There's just so many ways that TVT can open, outside of Reapers of course, that can end a game quickly. But what I also love is if the game doesn't end before 10 minutes, typically it goes on for at least 15 or 20.
Yeah, so what can you see from these openings right now? We've got Jjakji going for that factory really quickly, but on the other hand, Salvation just Reapers so far, so he's going to be looking for that scouting. Oh, he's even going for an expansion really quickly there.
Yeah, and this is something kind of akin to his teammate Marine King, playing a bit greedy in this TVT. An expansion like this early can really catapult you ahead far. It's not exactly as, say, drastic as a PvP faster Nexus, but in TVT, that expansion, that command center, it goes a long way. But Jjakji, ask what we see a second gas out of him, and this is a really big tell because you don't go for that second gas unless you're looking for something a little bit more gas heavy, namely Banshees most of the time.
Yeah.
Jjakji could also go for still like a 1-1-1 opening. That'd be a bit delayed because he's got no reactor, but one of the things I'm most curious about is, with that tech lab coming down, is it actually a Banshee? We've been seeing more and more Terran players play counter Banshee because of just how common the Banshee itself is, and thus, you know, Raven openings, Viking openings, and what have you. And this was actually amazing for Jjakji, and I don't know what he's typing, but I'm pretty sure it's like, damn it, damn it, damn it.
Yeah, something about the Reaper, like as soon as it hit it was like, ah.
The Reaper fights are actually pretty fickle, and if you don't get the first shot, you can still tend to win those fights with high ground vision, but Jjakji got about 3 shots off. So he is going to win this Reaper fight, especially with the Hellion coming. Oh,
Reaper
execution.
comes in. Oh, God. Oh, he doesn't get the cancel on the CC.
Oh, he hides it in the CC. Nicely done, Salvation.
That was good. That was good. I thought the SCV was going to go down for sure, but this is a lot of pressure on Salvation right there. And if we look back at the base here for Jjakji, we got Cloaked Banshee coming on the way, which is going to be even more pressure. What's the defense here for Salvation?
Oh, he's actually going to get this. Oh, this is huge. Losing the SCV building the starport, delaying any sort of Viking. It's not about winning the game with these Hellions so much as it is, well, stopping any anti-air for the Banshee. Now, obviously, he'd love to focus the SCV, but with how slow Hellions attack, he has to focus on his opponent's Hellions.
There's the Viking. He must know that something like a Banshee is going to be following this up.
For Jjakji, though, I really like his position for this. There's not really going to be that much anti-air. He's forcing his opponent to build turrets really early. The Viking's not going to be a big benefit. The second turret comes down in production because he knows how important this is. The Banshee's not going to end this game, but the Banshee's already indirectly caused about 200 minerals worth of, 300 almost minerals worth of damage.
Yep. Here we go. He looks like he's going to send it straight to the natural, which is a smart thing to do. That's the last place who'd put turrets. But there is a turret going up there anyway, so he's going to be safe there. I think there's not really going to be too much successful aggression with this Banshee, but like you said, it's indirect damage. Banshee comes in, has a look around. Can he get anything?
Let's not forget,
doesn't look like it.
another really big advantage to the Banshee is the fact he's going to be scouting. It'll see, hey, is my opponent going mech? Where's the tech lab? Second racks, third factory. I mean, this Banshee's not going to win the game. Not right here, but it's going to give Jjakji a lot of information that he will need to win the game. Now, I'm surprised to see him go as heavy as 3. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's seen the Viking, has seen the turrets. It could surprise Salvation. That might be what he's going for. He's like, no, I'm never going to expect 3 Banshees. He's seen my turret, he's seen my Viking.
Well, it's only
that goes down, though. Yeah, that leaves him on 2. He's going to find these gas guys, SCVs here, going to get himself a couple more kills.
Nice.
Game's kind of evening out at this point. Both players have got 2 CCs up, 30 SCVs for Jjakji, 27 for Salvation. Looks like the defense is successful.
Salvation going into mech, by the way. It's kind of cool to see. I was wondering like, if he was going to play bio, it's so late at this point for that tech lab to come down. Meanwhile, for Jjakji, he doesn't have stim himself. He could start this. He could still go either direction. But this third CC, this here is the advantage he got from that early game.
Yeah, exactly. And Salvation's like, he's on the defensive now, even though nothing's really... Oh, God.
He pre-pulls the SCVs. Yeah. The Hellions aren't going to go too well here for Jjakji's perspective, but he's got the damage to make sure this doesn't go out of hand. All those Vikings, though.
But look at the other side of the map, Rifkin. Something's going down.
It's
just the Banshee there.
This is pretty big, though. Jjakji's seeing 3 Vikings like this.
Ooh.
Unless for the drop keeps on his side. Jjakji's seeing 3 Vikings like that. I'm not sure if that's enough to be like, yep, that's definitely mech. But when you do play mech, you go Hellion, Viking heavy to start and start getting tanks out a little bit later. Tanks get a lot of the focus for what TVT is, and they certainly are a very important aspect of it, but they're actually probably not the last priority, but a lesser priority when you're playing mech, because you don't need them till the mid-game. Hellions with that splash damage, man, they can take on tanks, they can take on Marines. If you've got enough Hellions, they can do about anything in this game.
Yeah. Do we ever see Hellbat usage in this TBT mech?
Yes. Oh, it's so important. Put Hellbats inside the medevacs, drop them on top of the Marines.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's disgusting.
I've seen that before, actually. I've seen that before. What am I even thinking of?
Here's the thing. That's why we're going to start seeing Jjakji not go like 3 racks all with reactors, but with tech labs. You want Marauders, not because you're worried about killing tanks with the Marauders, because they can take the hits from the Hellbats.
He's going hard on the aggression here. There is a pump.
Oh, look at his bait. He knows about the Widowmine, too. Nicely done.
Quick scan.
But this is pretty big. He scans the Vikings. This is huge scanning the Vikings like this.
He's going to go for it. The air superiority here for Jjakji. He's going to crush those medibacks down. The Hellbats coming in, the SCVs.
He can land the Vikings. Vikings are good against Hellbats. They're armored units. They don't give a fuck. And that's not going to go well for Salvation at all.
That was questionable decision making there.
So here's what kills me for this, right? It's not that he took the fight so poorly, but it's the necessity to push in that blows my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know what he felt pressure. I mean, he knows Jjakji's not on 3rd. He knows his opponent's not massively ahead of him. I don't know where the pressure to Salvation came from to push up that ramp. Especially, he knew there was a bunker. He saw it with Hellbat when it died for the Widowmine.
That's the problem. Like, you look at that scenario and you're thinking, oh, he thinks he can kill him there, but he scanned it all. He saw everything that was there. He must have known the defense was possible.
Yeah.
Maybe he feels more desperate than he needs to be right now.
But see, this is what kills me. Let's assume those Hellbats were alive, right? Let's assume they're Hellions instead. He denies mining on the 3rd with that same army. Well, for Jjakji's sake, he's got air superiority, and this is really difficult to do as a bio player. Typically, your opponents produce so many Vikings in the early game to complement those Hellions, but with 1 Banshee, he's going to pick away any tanks or Hellions on the ground. The Vikings are going to wear that air fight every single time.
Yeah. Salvation's just basically trapped on 2 bases at this point. He's got the 3rd CC, but how does he land it with a weaker army with no air army that can contend with Jjakji?
Yeah, and that's where the problem for this really starts coming in.
3rd base, though. Rifkin, he's trying to get something done. This is what he's doing to try and come back.
Nah, I don't think he's going to get much done, though. But this is where the problem really starts running in for Salvation. You're going to notice he's floating a lot of money right now. He doesn't need minerals that badly as a mech player. You need gas. You need those geysers. So It's not that the third base was delayed, it was that the geysers themselves were delayed, and that really puts Salvation off for somebody who's trying to catch up on tanks, for somebody who's trying to get Thors out of all things. But one of the scariest things is, and I don't know if this will go to this extent, but if Jjakji finds himself struggling to break Salvation, Salvation gets this really sick turtle, lots of turrets in the main, no drops are possible for Jjakji. Jjakji can actually go battle cruisers because he's already got the Air War one. He's already got that Viking number up to where it needs to be.
Yeah. He might not go for it so soon, though. He's adding more racks on. He might just want to play the game out a bit more standard.
Yeah, it comes down to seeing whether you can actually break
around.
tanks. You don't really make that swap unless you're struggling for the attack. But at the same time, there's still that Banshee alive from earlier. Can help pick off tanks, too. I love that Salvation's built turrets next to each tank, though. Or tanks next to each turret, however you want to look at it. It's very important he did this. Make sure that that easy pickoff wouldn't come.
All right, looks like Jjakji's going to go in. He's going to try trading with this mech army. Can he do it? Bio going in. Marines and Marauders going in. Tanks at the back for Salvation there. Can they break through the Bio forces? Looks like he might just be able to defend here.
Man, Blue Flame on top of Marines. You might as well not even have Marines. I mean, the dynamic isn't compared to Zerglings too often, but if you can unload directly on top of an army like that, you're going to have a good time. And that was a great fight for Salvation. But that was one really awful angle of attack for Jjakji. We look here on the left side, and there's actually nothing to stop him from sieging up this command center. I was going to go for Doom Drop instead, Fenner. Ooh!
I like this a lot. He needs to abuse the mobility of the mech player. Salvation has set up turrets around his base, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to stop this many medivacs.
Honestly,
there he comes
the
straight
Vikings
into the main base.
Fine. Vikings soak the hits for the medivacs. Works out perfectly. Unloads the full brunt of the army. And what can Salvation do? Because his tanks are going to pop. He can maybe siege up a couple of them and stall Jjakji from moving forward, but the Marines are already focusing one of these tanks down. Marauders get on top of it as well. He's on top of production. If he starts killing these factories, that's where it really starts to hurt for Salvation. And in the meantime, another attack set up for the third.
Yeah, this is the main thing. Like, it's really hard for him to cover both these bases. He's actually doing it well. He's got 2 or 3 tanks at the other base, which is actually perfect. Salvation's dealing with this the best way he possibly can. And the perfect defense in the main base. Jjakji's going in deep here at the top as well. And again, another defense from Salvation.
Pulls the workers, and it actually works out pretty darn well. But Jjakji, through all of this, one of the key things is he did break the tank line. So this rally of Marines, you can't normally do this TVT. You're going to have a bad time if you do. You run into tanks and you die. But now you might actually get the CC. Lift, lift!
Oh, he needs to repair that. The tanks are finally coming down the ramp here.
Oh, and Hellbats are so good
well,
with
it's
their
only
damage.
one tank, but he might be able to hold on. And if he does, he's got that mech advantage, having that stronger army. But the fourth base is up for Jjakji, a bit more economy for him there as the main bases will start to mine out in this game.
Continuing to drop here. He actually catches the turrets before they rebuild. This is fantastic. A Thor gets unloaded. Well, Thor's got a lot of damage. Marauders are so good versus Thors. However, he's got to deal with those pesky freaking Hellbats. They can just take hits for days. They deal a lot of damage, but they are slow. However, looks like he will boost out of there and get out alive. Nope, go for the third base. Just right back into it. Unloads right near the tanks. Focuses it down. And, I don't know, again, breaking the Hellbats is not easily done without heavy Marine counts. Marauders just don't have the damage.
Jjakji consistently trying to trade with the Bio Army against the Mech Army, and finally he's actually breaking through the supply dropping for Salvation. He's got a lot of tanks right now. If Jjakji can just go into the main, keep splitting this army up, he's going to keep on doing damage. And even if he doesn't win the game like this, he's keeping Salvation on 3 bases whilst he goes up to 4th or 5th his base. And as long as he keeps trading, even if it's slightly inefficient, he will get that lead through economy and mobility.
Yeah, the attrition war is a very real aspect of StarCraft too that doesn't often get noticed in TVT because there's mules. Oh, awesome SCV is a big deal. I'll replace it with my CCs, but if he can't actually take that 4th base, Jjakji will eventually win this game just through the money war. However, behind this, his upgrades, I didn't even realize we were so far behind. Only just now getting level 2 weapon upgrades. Taking another base, really nice. Sadly, it's going to get shut down by the Hellbats. However, as mentioned before, this is where you start getting to the point in the game where players like Jjakji may start considering transitioning back towards air. Where you'll see 3 or 4 starports come down alongside a fusion core if, again, you can't break this. But manages to get all the way around the map, drops that natural base, kills the refinery. Again, really big pickoff for someone who's playing mech. And looks like he's going to push into the third base. So there's too many tanks there, so just boosts on through, goes to the main. Almost loses one of the medevacs. It actually lives, unloads so many Marauders on top of these tanks. This production line is going to probably go down.
Yeah, the production line going down here. This is probably going to be the end for Salvation. Jjakji decimating all of the tech labs there, and that means no more units for Salvation. He's stuck on this tank line. He knows he can't move them to the main base because Jjakji's ready to move into the third base. The fourth base is also under fire, and there we go. Yong Ha Ban Han.
Yeah, I don't know what he's saying, but it's the equivalent of, oh man, Bio's good, GG.
Yeah.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Jjakji will take the game. Oh, that was so good. Like,